Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? I am tired. That's what's going on with Joe. Joe is tired. I woke up tired and I'm still tired. I didn't sleep good last night. So I went into work a little later than normal. And man, I'm tired. Busy day. Really busy day. Haven't even ate my dinner yet. It's a little after 9 o'clock here at the house. And I've literally had time to come home, take a shower, sit down, get myself prepared to do this, and here I am. But that's okay. Welcome, Lacey. Welcome, everybody coming in. I see you guys starting to trickle in. I actually went live on my other platform tonight because I didn't have time to fool with the other one, but that's okay. Life on life's terms. I just surrendered my control tonight and had to admit that I was powerlessness over my streaming addiction, I guess. It's just too much. My mind couldn't handle it tonight. So I didn't really have a whole lot prepared tonight. So I went to Hazelton, my trusty go-to website, for a couple nightly readings I was going to share with you guys. And they're actually really relatable and really good ones to share on. I see you, Joy. Said you didn't get my echo in the background for my side co-host. It's okay. I didn't sleep well last night. Woke up at 2:30. Couldn't go back to sleep till like 5. Well, if anybody was awake between about 3 and 5, 6 o'clock, which I know Joy was because I think you commented on a few things I was posting. So I too was awake. I was right there with you. I do the same thing, man. Some nights I go to sleep and I'm fine. Other nights I go to sleep and a couple hours later I'm awake and I can't go back to sleep. It is what it is. I'm going to bring up the first reading here real quick. I love this website. If you guys haven't checked it out, you really need to. It's more on the AA side through Betty Ford's clinic. As you can see, I'll kind of show it to you here. They've got different readings, 24 hours a day. Today's a gift for families, the language of letting go, which is the daily meditation on codependency. They have in each day is a new beginning, which is kind of a women's reading, which I go to that one quite a bit. They have a touchstones one, which is kind of an OA. If you struggle with food and food's a part of your story or your addiction, they even have one for that, which I qualify for all the above. Language of letting go today, Monday, February 7th. It says owning our power. It says we need to make a distinction between powerlessness and owning our power. It says the first step in recovery is accepting powerlessness. We're powerlessness over our drugs, our using, our drinking, our eating, whatever your DOC may be. There are some things that we can't do no matter how long or how hard we try. These things include changing other people. How many people struggle with that? I struggled with that yesterday. I actually shared about that. Maybe I'll get into that later. Solving their problems, which that's exactly what was going on, and controlling their behaviors. I relate to this big time because I just literally went through this yesterday. Sometimes we feel powerless over ourselves, what we feel or believe, or the effects of a particular situation or person on us. It says it's important to surrender to powerlessness, but it's equally important to own our own power, to own our power. We aren't trapped. We have a choice. We're not trapped. We said we aren't helpless. Sometimes it may feel like we are, but we're not. We always have a choice, guys. We always have the choice to use the tools in our recovery toolbox daily. We don't have to get sucked into other people's bullshit and their mess that they may be living in, trying to bring on or project onto us to maybe save them. They might be looking for someone to help them with something, and, we have to set that fine line and that boundary with enabling other people, especially people that we already know are in active addiction or are struggling themselves. Says we aren't helpless. Sometimes it may feel like we are, but we're not. We each have the God given power and the right to take care of ourselves in any circumstance and with any person. You have to keep yourself and your recovery number one. That's exactly what comes to mind when I read that. The middle ground of self care lies between the two extremes of controlling others and allowing them to control us. Are you going to allow them to control what's going on with you, or are you going to take control? You can't walk that ground gently or assertively, but in confidence, that is our right and our responsibility. It says, let the power come to walk the path. Today, I will remember that I can take care of myself. I have a choice, and I can exercise that option or choose without guilt. It just reminds me how important it is to take care of ourselves and to set those healthy boundaries and to keep ourselves in our recovery number one. When situations like that pop up, don't allow others to steal your joy. Don't allow them to steal your joy in your day. Don't allow them to get you in a bad mood or get you in a funk. Whatever the situation is, we always have a choice to react. That whole react and response scenario. Stay in the solution and stay out of the mess, especially if they're trying to bring a mess onto you. That old run, Forrest, run. Get out. You can show empathy and be loving and caring and understanding. But we have to draw that fine line it talks about in that reading and separate ourselves from their chaos. The next one, each day is a new beginning. That's the daily meditation for women. Says, however confused the scene of our life appears, however torn we may be, who do face that scene. It can be faced and we can go on to be whole. Says we can expect to feel fear, even dread at some points in our lives. We will always have situations that, for a time at least, seems more than we can bear. Just life showing up, life on life's terms. Seems like when things go wrong, they go wrong tenfold. It's not just one thing, it's 20 things. It just feels like the walls are crumbling in. It says, but the clouds will lift. That's that whole trust and faith in the process and something greater than ourselves, a higher power. I choose God. We will never be given more than we can handle. I heard a stream today on my way into work, and the guy was talking about God will never give us anything more than we can handle. It says in each day passing, or in each passing day, we become more and more at ease with ourselves and that all life can give us, or life is giving us. We are learning that this too shall pass. Our confidence grows and our spiritual program gains strength. It was amazing because he used that exact term, this too shall pass. And it is amazing if we just let go and let our higher power do the work, guide us in our recovery, that it seems like, for me at least, things do pass. It may take a little longer than expected, but things do get better, and they have gotten better for me tremendously. Our ties to one another and our ties to the program make us whole. If you work a 12-step program, they make you whole. If you don't work a 12-step program, whatever program or whatever works for you is fine. The longer we stay in recovery and the longer we share and the longer we surround ourselves with positivity and positive people doing the right thing, it reflects how we're feeling, who we are, our attitudes, it changes us, period. For me, it's unbelievable how much I've changed in the last year and a half. It says when we reflect on who we were before and how far we've come, we will see that the problems we drank or we used over in days gone by are handled today often with ease. I have shared on this before. I was never solution based ever in my life. And today I am, and I'm extremely grateful for that. There's a lot of gratitude and being in the solution and not that mess today. I find myself daily pumping the brakes. Even though I struggle with control, I still pump the brakes first. I still stop and think before I make a horrible decision, or before I just didn't care. I would just act on impulse, and somebody would come up to me with this crazy idea, and I'd be like, shit, I'm down. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get in the car and go, without even thinking of repercussions, and today I just don't do that. I don't find any joy in doing that whatsoever. Says the joy we share is not, is the joy we share is that no problem is too great to be faced any longer. And no situation will ever have to be faced alone. Never alone, never again. Unless we reject God's help, unless we reject the people that love and care about us in the 12-step programs, we may work. It's that therapeutic value of one person, one addict, one alcoholic helping another. It's without parallel. It's a very, very powerful tool, in my opinion. God, obviously, the most powerful tool. Prayer, the power of prayer, guys, is amazing. It really is. It's changed me completely in my outlook on life. I will be grateful for my own growth towards wholeness and the opportunities I face daily. How many times have you guys heard me say there's opportunities daily? Go after them. Chase them like you used to chase your DOC. They're there. Open your eyes. I can remember days where they've always been there. They've always been there. I just chose to look the other way. My eyes were blinded. I had my blinders on. I wasn't paying any attention to them, because my stinking thinking. My mindset was focused on the getting and using in the next one, or what bed I was going to crash on, or where I was going to stay at. That's where my mind was at daily, day in and day out. It says they are bringing me into harmony with the divine plan for my life. And that simple line right there is what really drew me to this whole reading, was they are bringing me to the harmony with the divine plan for my life. And I say that because there was a point in my recovery where I didn't want to be here. And I was pretty much going to, I was contemplating suicide. I hadn't pulled it. I hadn't gone through with it yet, but I didn't see a purpose. I didn't have any hope. I was completely hopeless. I was broken, beaten up, and battered, and I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't know what my divine purpose was a year and a half ago. I had no idea. I know that I didn't want to be here, that I didn't want to live, and that I cussed the God of my understanding for bringing me back the times that I overdosed. My life was miserable. My life was completely in shambles, and I was completely miserable. And today, my eyes are open, my ears are open. I can close my mouth when I need to. That's hard to believe, but I can. And it's amazing to be able to see the gratitude and the positivity and the joys in the day, and go after this 110%. It's amazing. Like I can feel, I can sense, I can see the purpose and why I'm here today and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. A year and a half ago, guys, I didn't have that. And that's why that reading stuck out to me so much. Call it a spiritual awakening. I don't know what it is. It's just something within me that I feel, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. And it's an amazing feeling. It really is. The things that I'm doing today, I would have never imagined I would have been doing. 18 months ago, if you would have asked me if I was going to be sitting, on my bed, live streaming from crazy Dayton, Ohio, to a bunch of other people in recovery, sharing and spreading the message of hope, I'd tell you were crazy. You know what I mean? You were nuts. There's just no way, because that's just where I was at. And today, I have hope today, and it's an amazing feeling. I'm learning every day, every single day from each and every one of you guys. I learn from the men at work that I work with that are still stuck in the mess. And I learn from the old timers as much as I learn from the newcomers in the room. I'm still a newcomer in the room. I'm still learning. I'm remaining teachable. It's a blessing though, guys. That reading really put a smile on my face today. I don't know about you guys, but it's a really good reading. I'm gonna go back and read some of these. Uh, Joy said she was I almost thought that said you were a dragon ass. That's kind of an interesting thing. What a dragon ass is, because I was talking about mouse farts the other day. Yeah, I seen that. I hope you're okay. Crazy Joy here today evidently was out, I think, shoveling snow maybe, but she had a little accident, and that finger looked absolutely terrible on Facebook. It was horrible. God bless you. I hope you're doing okay. That looked freaking terrible. Addie said she cooked tonight. Well, I know she did, and I can smell it. I've seen it briefly when I was in the kitchen, but I haven't ate it yet, so I can't tell you guys how it is. But Fatty made it. It's probably pretty good. It's usually noodles or some kind of pasta or some kind of rice, because she's a vegetarian, and you can tell by my awesome physique that I am nowhere near a vegetarian, nor will I ever be.
Well, that question came up.
What? Oh, no, I haven't gotten to it yet, but no, I am definitely not a vegetarian, but I'll eat vegetarian food. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure. Julie said she's grateful for lidocaine. Yeah, man, take care of yourself. You got to be careful, girlfriend. You don't want to be chopping your fingers off. You got to have all those. I just seen that literally when I walked in the door. I'm not for sure. You guys were evidently in conversation that I may have missed. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that have helped me. Hypnosis, going to sleep, sleep meditation. You know what? I have this little black box next to our computer, and it has different things pre-programmed into it. 15 different sounds. I prefer the rain one, and it's like a thunderstorm, and it just plays, and you can adjust the volume on it, and it plugs into the USB port of the computer, which is flipping amazing. So when I go to bed, I just reach over and hit this button, and I've got a thunderstorm inside our apartment, and I sleep like a baby.
Very confusing when the sun's out.
Yeah, it is kind of confusing when the sun's out and you're laying in bed and it's storming inside your house, but man, it relaxes me. It soothes me. We bought it on Amazon. I think you paid what, 20?
Under $20.
It was under $20, and it's like the coolest, best invention ever. And it helps me tremendously because I wanted something like rain on a tin roof, something of that nature. I grew up in the country, guys. I am not a city boy. So hearing all these city noises and cars and buses, and we're in an apartment complex, so there's kids running up and down the hallway and doors slamming and fights going on. It's just, no, I'm used to my nearest neighbor is like 3 cornfields over on the dirt road, next to the pig in the pasture. That's where I grew up at. That's the kind of stuff I'm used to. Addie said, Lacey, my friend told me once that you should sleep for 3 or 6 hours or 9 hours, something about what? And an internal clock. Got you. She's right next to me, so I'm just asking her. It's a lot easier than me sitting there going, what are you guys talking about? Life is a process, not an event. Amen. What else did you say there? This too, or this will pass, maybe like a kidney stone, but it'll pass. That's the truth, though. It's funny. It's a funny way of saying it, but sometimes life isn't easy, guys, and life shows up, and we have to deal with life on life's terms, and we're going to have to make tough decisions. What I was talking about earlier with the situation that cropped up with me was just basically setting healthy boundaries with a close friend of mine, that's going through it, that's struggling, in a horrible situation. And all I can do is pray. All I can do is pray for this person and pray that they can get through it. I've enabled enough, I'll admit that I did help some. But I had to draw the line. I had to draw that healthy boundary and stick to my guns. And as much as it broke my heart to drive away and not do anything or not offer any more help or assistance, knowing damn well I could, I probably could have gotten him out of the situation completely, but that's not, I'm not there for that. I have to let go of that control. It's just something that I struggle with. Welcome, Patty. You're always late. I always see a post after I get done live streaming from Patty. Sorry, I'm so late. Gotta hug the grand. You know what? You don't, that's the beauty of live stream and the beauty of Facebook and YouTube. You can go back and listen to me all you want when I get finished. I don't know why you'd want to. Um, Hopefully you do. I'm teasing, but yeah. Don't ever think just because you missed it, I'm going to be mad at you. I might tease you a little bit on Messenger or something, but I won't beat you up too bad, Patty. I promise. Patty said she was chaos based, loved the drama, chaos. I relate. I loved it more than my drug of choice. I absolutely did. I loved the scheming and scamming and the manipulating and the lying and the cheating and the thieving and who I was going to screw over tomorrow and trying to remember what lie I had told to what person. I enjoyed all that. As crazy as that sounds, I actually enjoyed doing all of that. Like I really got into that. Like, who can I screw over today? And what outlandish story can I come up with? What uncle's going to die today? What grandma hasn't died yet? Those kind of stories. Like, that was me. That was me and my active addiction. Um, how many of you guys can relate to going through your phone, if you even had a phone, like when you were really out there and struggling and going through your list and messaging people you ain't even talked to in flipping years, long time, probably never messaged once before in your entire life. And you were sending them messages like, hey, what's up? Just trying to get a response. You know what I mean? Just please, somebody, can somebody throw me a bone? Just try to get somebody to answer me. That was me, man. I was digging people out of the archives trying to get somebody to answer me for $5. Anything. I go get me a tester, go get me this, or get me that. I mean, that's the kind of shit I used to do, guys. It was terrible. I mean, and I loved doing it. I absolutely loved doing it and was perfectly fine at the end of the day, hiring a kite, going and laying down underneath a bridge somewhere in Cincinnati and going to sleep. Bugs crawling all over me, bums next to me, using the bathroom, people doing what they do when they're homeless. I mean, it was a train wreck. It was a mess. No problem with it whatsoever. Didn't care. As long as I could lay down and get a couple hours of rest, the rest of my feet. I was back at it a few hours later and no big deal, no big deal. Joy said, I try to always have a positive attitude and make people smile, even when I'm in pain. That's a great thing to hang on to. Just don't forget that when you are in pain and you are struggling, to reach out and ask for help. That's a mistake that I made personally myself many times, that I would never let anybody inside what was really going on with me when I was in pain and when I was struggling and when I was really going through some shit. And I had to allow people over that wall a little bit, let them peek over the wall just a little bit, and open up. I had to become vulnerable a little bit and let them know when I was struggling what was really going on with me. Addie said, when one door closes, one door opens, but sometimes it's hell in the hallway. And that's true. I've had that happen to me a few times, opportunities that pop up and you think they're a good one and they end up not being so great. That's happened to me in relationships. That's happened to me in marriages. It's happened to me in a whole lot of different aspects of my life. Like, finally got rid of that girlfriend, but this one's a wonderful angel and she ended up being Satan. But yeah.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
You're not Satan.
I'm just saying, you looked straight at me.
I did look at her, didn't I? Somebody's got a complex. Tanya said, laugh out loud. I tell my boys to pump their brakes and turn around. And they turn around and tell me, no, Mom, you pump your brakes. That's funny. I could totally hear them saying that too. No, Mom, you pump your brakes. That's cute though. And I bet you laugh at them every single time you do that too. Addie, this is a great comment. Attitude and positivity, gratitude and positivity will change your brain and your life. And that's so true. That's why I talk about gratitude all the time. Addie talks about gratitude all the time. Those positive affirmations, the I cans and the I wills instead of the I can'ts and I won'ts. We have our affirmations on our bathroom wall. We look at them every day. We look at the ones that have fallen off the wall and the cats play with next to the litter box. We still look at them. You know what I mean? They're there for a reason because I struggle with positive self-talk. How many of you guys struggle with positive self-talk and beat yourself up and think you're ugly or think that you're not worth it or that you're not beautiful or good looking? I do. I am. I struggle with that all the time. This is coming from somebody, like I've told you many times, was extremely heavy in my life. And then people are mean. People are hateful. People say horrible stuff when you're heavy and you're a big person. I've said this before. I was literally the elephant in the room, and that's exactly how I got treated. If I did decide to go out, if I got out of a car or I went into a restaurant, all eyes were on me because I was overweight, because I was a big guy and I looked different. You know what I mean? So I was getting judged by my appearance, and that scarred me, guys. That really did scar me. I'm still recovering from that. I'll be in recovery from that my entire life. That's why I always say, this is an open recovery forum because I struggle with a lot of things myself. And I just think it's really important, no matter what you're struggling with, that you share and you talk about it. If it's sex, if it's food, if it's alcohol, if it's drugs, if it's social media, electronics, I could go on and on. There's so many addictions and different forms of addictions out there. Addiction. We can all relate and share our stories, and almost 10 times out of 10, we're going to relate to it in some way, shape, or form. Gloria says, I used to be the same, but not today in my recovery. I think things through and I play that tape and I don't fall into the old behaviors, those old thoughts and behaviors that way. Amen. I absolutely love that comment. It is so true. And I'm blessed. There's a lot of gratitude in that statement right there. And I'm sure you can relate to that, Gloria, because I feel the exact same way, because I used to never be solution based. I love the chaos and I love the mess. So I would never think things through. I would just act on impulse. It's the easiest way to say it. And I would do dumb stuff. And next thing I know, clink, clink, like Tanya said the other night, clink, clink, I'm in handcuffs again. And I didn't care. A lot of times I was happy I was in handcuffs because I got a hot meal and I was safe for the night and I wasn't on the street and I was warm. That's just where it drove me. You know what I mean? Patty said she practices the stop a lot. It's something that, we all should practice. Just stopping and thinking and slowing ourselves down. Lacey said it's about the how of the program. I'm going to go through here. Joy's talking about she had an spiritual experience today, touched my heart and brought tears to my eyes. God is good all the time and always there with me. He speaks in mysterious ways. He really does. That's that reading, that podcast that I stumbled across today. I was thinking about something on the lines of what this gentleman was talking about in his podcast before I even knew he was live. And I literally had just gotten up and was waking up, and I was doing my business and was watching him on my phone while I was doing my business. And bam, here he is talking about exactly what was on my mind when I woke up. And it just gave me chills. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was just literally thinking about this. I woke up and I was thinking about it. It was on my heart. It was on my mind. And then the first thing I pull up is a live stream, a a recovery live stream, and the guy's talking about exactly what I was thinking about. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy how God and my higher power works in my life. It's amazing. It's a blessing of recovery. This continues to happen daily by just doing the right thing. Patty said, I think people in recovery are happier than normies because we feel so much gratitude. Well, I'm sure normies are pretty grateful people too, but I understand. I think it's more perspective. You know, us addicts and alcoholics, we're pretty smart people. We're almost scary smart. And, I think it's just because of that lived experience that kind of sets us apart. That's definitely a powerful tool. That lived experience is a super powerful tool because we understand it. We've lived it. We've been there. We've done that. A normie doesn't have that experience. I could always tell when I was in a treatment center, when I was speaking to a counselor or an employee at a treatment center, you could tell the normies from the ones that were actually in recovery and were employees there working, giving back. I could pull them up. I could pick them out. It was just easy for me to pick them out. You can tell when somebody has lived experience or somebody's book smart, they've just read about recovery. Big difference. You just cannot beat that lived experience, hands down. You just can't beat it. And I can call it out. I can call it out really, really, really quick. Addie said she thinks God has an amazing sense of humor. Yeah. Be careful what you pray for because you'll get it. I can guarantee you that because I'm pretty sure that's where she was going with that.
It was part of another conversation.
Yeah, another conversation, but nonetheless, I have prayed for like patience before, and boy, did he give it to me. Yeah, he'll give you a situation to be patient on, but like Addie says, it's not like he just sprinkles magic dust and says, "Here you go." He'll give you a situation, and you'll have to practice it for a long time. Yeah, you gotta really be careful with that. I'm trying to read through some of these guys. I can't keep up with you women, man. You guys are like super texters. You guys are like super texters. You guys are just chatting away. Well, I'm hungry. I will go back and read some of these after the stream is over and I am eating my pasta, I believe. I appreciate you guys being in here tonight. I love each and every one of you guys. I love doing this. Hopefully you guys enjoy listening in and hear me ramble. Hopefully I said something that made sense to you guys tonight. I love each and every one of you guys. Hey, Heather is going to be on. I've got a speaker lined up for Friday. If you've seen the flyer, please set up a notification. Mark it interested, mark it going. Share it for me, please. The more we share, the more we reach, the more we hopefully help. Heather W. is going to share her experience, strength, and hope from active addiction to recovery. She's got a really good story. She participates, I believe, in an NA program and just had a milestone herself. And I'm going to be hearing her story for the first time on Friday. So I'm super excited. I got it confirmed and the flyers flown last night. So check it out. Please join in Friday if you are home. It's at 8:00 Eastern. We'll be live with Heather. It's going to be a fun night, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. We will catch you later on. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you later.